that boy passing by my house? I don't know him, but I kinda want to. Basketball, t-shirts, and his smile made me wanna know what's his name. 2, 3, 4, 5, we count to 16 on his motorbike. Now I wait for him to knock on my door. He'll be here when I'm alone. Been here before, but now I'm home. He's all
I love
pick me up and be here at 3. Let's dress up, eat sushi with me. Do your homework and I'll do mine. Tell your mom you're late tonight. Bring your stuff, we'll play with Legos. Stay a while, we don't have to go. We may not know what we're doing. At least I got you by my side. We grow old, we go round and round. Somehow I still wanna keep it this way. Back when we were 8, I never thought he'd say it all. 'Cause I still want him to knock on my door. He'll be here when I'm alone. Been
Tes tes tes. Set. Nah. Bentar, salah. Oh, kemana kita? Sini.
Why he sat at the top of the table.
I'm going to put my money on Mitch Evans because he's won 2 in a row, and why not? Why can't he win 3?
All right, well, there you go. Well, this is it. It's time to go green here in Berlin. Enjoy.
Formula E returns to its longest-serving race circuit. We are back in Berlin. The race stage is set at Tempelhof Airport. Are you ready to be electrified? As we approach the halfway point of Season 9.
Boys, what have we just done?
Yes!
Congrats, everybody.
You did it, mate! Wow! Another win for Evans. And we go green in Berlin.
Less than 5 minutes to go till the start of the Berlin E-Prix, the 8th round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship season. And it is a front row lockout for the Abt Cupra team. Robin Freins ahead of Nico Müller. It's going to be fascinating to see what those two drivers get up to over the course of this race. They are not the most efficient car out there. In fact, there's no way else of putting it. They are the least efficient car out there because they were so late getting their car ahead of the new season. They were a relatively late entry into the championship, making their return to the series after a year out. Nico Müller has never had a lap in the top 3 in his Formula E career. Surely that will change on the opening lap here. But the man on pole position is Robin Freins, his 2nd Formula E pole position. He's won 2 races before. It would be quite something if he pulled off victory today in the Berlin E-Prix. Overtakes, 23 of them for the lead. That's the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. That was certainly the race yesterday in the 2023 SABIC Berlin E-Prix. Will it be the same today? We are in for an absolutely fascinating race. My name is Jack Nichols. Alongside me in the commentary box is the former F1 driver and Audi Formula E team principal, Alan McNish. And Alan, this circuit, there's so many overtaking opportunities. Every corner, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much every corner, inside, outside. Didn't really make any difference yesterday. People were overtaking everywhere. Big slipstreaming effect. You've got a tight section at turn 1, long corner, then through 2, 3, 4, and then the long run down to turn 6 where the attack mode is on your right-hand side. You'll see people diving in there very early in the race, more early than usual, and then fast flicks through 7, 8, hairpin at 9, and then a very difficult last corner at 10 leading over the start-finish line.
That is the old Berlin Tempelhof Airport with the huge runway still there, but this is the grid. Norman Nato starts at the back with Max Günther with him in 21st position. A difficult day for the Nissans. Fenestrad's only 20th, just behind Sergio Sede Camera. Dan Ticktum had a 5-place grid drop for a crash with Stoffel Vandoorne yesterday. He lines up 18th. Eduardo Montaro looked strong yesterday and all weekend, but only 16th on the grid for the Maserati MSGs. They may come through the field, to be honest. Lucas de Grassi lines up 13th for Mahindra. He's won here twice in the past. Sam Bird finished 2nd yesterday, only managed 11th in qualifying. Keep your eyes peeled for him coming through the order. Stoffel Vandoorne, reigning champion, is 9th on the grid for the DS Penske squad. Nick Cassidy is lining up in 8th place. He is 2nd in the championship. Mitch Evans is the man 4th in the championship and the winner yesterday. He's just ahead of Pascal Wehrlein, who's the championship leader. Sebastian Buemi lines up in 3rd spot as he looks for a big haul of points. But the front row of the grid, unbelievably, is Robin Freins and Nico Müller, the 2 Abt Cupra drivers. They're in the slowest car. The rain seemed to suit them earlier on today, and they will have been devastated. They would have been the only 2 people in the whole paddock here to be devastated that it's now quite a nice day.
Yep, when the sun came out, certainly isn't going to help their performance, but it is going to give us a fantastic race. As you said, the Maseratis at the back, I expect them to come through, but there's a lot of championship contenders in that top 11 already.
We've got 2 attack mode activations to deal with, where the cars will get an extra boost of power for 4 minutes. You can get involved using the Formula E predictor, scan the QR code, and that'll take you to the Formula E app, where you can keep across everything. Also on the website at FIAFormulaE.com/live. But the cars now will burn out into their grid positions. Robin Freins on the left-hand side. This is on board with Nico Muller, who pulls up and slots into second place. And Ab Cupra lockout on the front row. Honestly, if they finish in the top 10, that would be a huge, huge day for the team. It's how quickly they shuffle back. Robin Freins on the grid saying, I'm happy to slot back into 5th position and then pull back. And looks as though we've got an incident here on the start line, so on the grid. I'm sure that will be dealt with very swiftly. That is the attack mode activation down at turn 6. You keep to the outside through that dotted line, and that is where you will pick up the extra mode for extra power for 2 times during the race. You can either do 1 minute then 3 minutes, 3 minutes then 1 minute, or 2 sets of 2 minutes, and it's going to be fascinating to see what they decide to do there, and that strategy is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Nico Muller lining up on the front row of the grid. Naturally, you can see the event security getting involved to sort out the scenario on that start line.
And Jack, this will be a start delayed. Not sure exactly how long, but that's one thing from a driver's point of view. The cars are fine. They're just sitting there energized and ready to go. But from the actual drivers themselves, it is a little bit of commotion when you're all psyched up just to have those 5 lights come on and then go off, and within maybe 6 or 7 seconds you're racing. And now you've kind of got to keep everything under control, your heartbeat under control, and wait for this just to finish itself and then reset and go again.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. We've never actually had a scenario like this in Formula E. So normally the sort of dummy grid pulls you forward and then you go. So we'll see what happens next time around. The grandstands are packed, as you would expect. This event, Alan, has got bigger and bigger. When we first came here in season 1 back in 2015, it was a bit of concrete in a car park, is sort of how it felt. Now it's this huge event, huge amounts of fans and everything.
Well, they call it date equity. When you keep coming back in a similar sort of time period, people get used to it, and then suddenly you get this momentum behind it, and it produces some fantastic races. It's a great weekend, and there's other things that are also going on in the actual Tempelhof area.
Frank's looking around. He was at the front of the grid, so he won't have known of anything that was going on, to be perfectly honest. So he's probably, the team will have been on the radio. Marcus Mickelberger, his race engineer, informing Robin of what's going on. Nico Muller looking alongside as well, just looking in his mirrors to see what happens now. And I don't think all the cars have completed their burnout into their grid position. I think some of the Nissans at the back, I think Fenestraz, Gunther and Nato hadn't done their burnout and weren't lined up in their grid slot there. You can see it just there on the left-hand side. So whether we get another pull forward, or whether...
No, they can't, so they'll have to allow them to pull forward, because if Robin pulls forward any further, he's got to get over the start line. And so from that respect, it'll be the last 3 cars will go into position, and then I think we'll be on our way.
Race control, and the race director, Scott Elkins, has the ability to speak to all of the drivers at the same time. So he is there on the right-hand side, second man in from the right, very experienced race director, and has been with Formula E for a lot of years now, maybe since about season 4, I think, like that, season 5, and now the final cars are pulling into position. The green flag is there at the back of the field, and we are about to go racing in Berlin. It's round 8 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Sebastian Buemi lining up 3rd on the grid in the Envision. Robin Freins is on pole position. Nico Muller is alongside him on the front row. The championship leader, Pascal Wehrlein, is starting in 6th on the grid in the Tag Heuer Porsche. It's his and Porsche's home race, so a lot of pressure on them as well. Jean-Eric Verne lining up in 4th. He has won a race already this season in Hyderabad.
Just a heads up, this is race control. We're still on a little bit of a delay. It seems like one of the protesters may have put some substance on the racetrack. So I've got the guys going out to take a look at it. Give us a few more minutes here. I apologize for this delay, and I'll let you know.
Ah,
So that's Scott Elkins, the race director,
delay.
communicating to the drivers.
Delay gara-gara si cewek.
Mitch Evans lining up there in 5th on the grid in the Jaguar as we just wait for this Berlin E-Prix to get underway. And this is really, really sort of unusual and unique timing and a situation for these drivers. The marshals have been out on the circuit to check that everything is okay on the circuit. And then I'm sure Scott Elkins will be back on the radio telling everybody when they are about set to go.
Well, everything's prepared to go at the point of you've got a 10-minute, a 5-minute, a 3-minute, a 1-minute, a 30-second countdown.
Yeah. Okay, everyone, this is race control. This is race control. What's going to happen?
What's going on?
We lost Scott Elkins there for the moment as he goes to tell them what's going to happen. Right, green flag waved at the back of the field. So we're about to go racing in round 8 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, I think. Green flag is waved, green lights are on. So now wait for the red lights to come on. And then when the lights go out, we will be underway for round 8 of the season.
The lights are still flashing.
Oh yeah, they are still flashing.
So I think it's not quite prepared, but the green flag says that everything on the start grid is okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Attention, everyone. This is race control. Okay, everything has been taken care of. What's going to happen now is the lights are going to go out. We're going to wait 15 seconds, and then the start sequence will begin.
Okay, so the lights will go out, 15 seconds, and then the start sequence will begin. Frustration for the drivers, and confusion for the drivers, no doubt. But just when you think you've seen it all in Formula E, we're about to go racing in the 2023 SABIC Berlin E-Prix. All 5 lights are on. And we go green in Berlin. It's a pretty good start from Robin Prince on pole position. Nico Muller comes with him on the run down towards the first corner. To the outside comes Jean-Eric Verne in the DS Penske. He can't quite get around there. And they are going side by side further back in the pack. But the two apps hold the lead. Prince ahead of Muller. Buemi in 3rd. Jean-Eric Verne is in 4th position. 5th is Mitch Evans as he defends from Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein trying to go around the outside at turn 4. That's a brave move for a championship leader, and he's now got Jake Dennis right behind him, so this battle for 5th is really on. 3 championship contenders going side by side down into turn 6, and Evans holds the middle of the road. Also getting involved is Nick Cassidy as he tries to stick his nose up the inside of Dennis. Through go the 2 apps in the lead, but the championship contenders are all getting their elbows out right at the start, Alan McNish.
Well, they realised that yesterday that you had to sort of get your elbows out a little bit, but right now Pascal Wehrlein defending, coming down into the hairpin, and you've got Cassidy trying to run right round the outside of Jake Dennis.
Down towards the first corner again is the 2 Cooper's out in front. Robin Prince followed by Nico Muller. Sam Bird is on the attack, looking to the outside of the Tag Heuer Porsche. No one really made any changes on that opening lap in 11th place. As you say, Oliver Rowland dropped down 10 positions. So presumably some kind of electrical problem in that Mahindra. He is running still right on the back of the pack, so a bit of an odd one. But here is Evans running in 5th spot. Just behind him is Pascal Wehrlein. Does Dennis fancy a move? Not quite yet, but this has been a much more aggressive opening lap and a half than we saw yesterday. Yesterday, everyone was diving into attack mode already on the second lap. We're on board with Nico Muller running in 2nd place.
Well, there's people a lot out of position yesterday. here today, it's only really the Maseratis in terms of performance with Mortara in 15th and Gunter in 20th. Everybody else, apart from these two leaders, are really in roughly where they should be.
You see?
But the other thing is they learned from yesterday.
Yes.
And they understand it.
To position up.
Very good one.
Nice.
Very, very good, as we see a little bit of an
Felix.
attack there and some bodywork coming off, was Dennis. He was able to conserve a lot of energy. I would still watch him. He's 7th there, and I think he's going to be someone that will be doing exactly the same trick again.
Bird made a couple of places on that. Andre
Lothar.
Lothar sending it. He's in the red Andretti, going to the inside of Jake Hughes, but Sam Bird came 2 places on that last lap. He was 11th at the start, and now he is up into 9th position, so he wants to join the fight as quickly as possible. Here's a replay of the start.
Sam Bird
Everybody's
fastest
pretty
lap.
well behaved, to
Nice.
be perfectly honest, into turn 1.
It's a very, very wide
Neo
first
attack,
corner, so you can
not
get away with
with
quite a lot
the,
of
Ras,
clear breast.
yeah.
And in reality, it was only Oliver
Two
Rowland
Neo
with his
and
problem there, as we
one
see him
McLaren
at the
tech
bottom of
attack.
the screen now, just trying to keep out of the way. And it was 2 by 2. It was like going on to the Arc in that respect, but the water was this morning, not this afternoon.
Well, I'm not that old, Alan. I don't remember going onto the Arc, but I'll take your word for it. This is the onboard view with Sebastian Buemi. The 2-lap Cooper's got a pretty reasonable getaway, to be honest, and then Buemi was happy to sit in behind in 3rd spot. Verline is now pushing, and he's there running in 6th position. And the 2 leaders go straight through attack mode. So the 2 leaders, Freitz and Muller, straight through into attack mode. So that means that Sebastian Buemi is now in the lead. Vern is in 2nd. Freitz is in 3rd. Evans 4th. So attack mode, you get an extra 50 kilowatts of power for 4 minutes during the race. You can see everybody's got 4 minutes left, apart from Freitz and Muller. And they were keen to do that so that they would drop back into the pack. Cassidy here is fighting with Jake Dennis. They are 7th and 8th at the moment.
Normally, you use the power to overtake. In this situation, you actually are using the opportunity to go offline to let other people past you, so that you can use that slipstream effect. It's the reverse side of things that we didn't expect yesterday, but it was very, very effective. Hence the reason that now Sebastian Buemi's decided, I don't want to lead, I'm going to be quite happy down there in 5th.
It's that classic, you got to just be in the lead at the right time. You don't necessarily want to be out the front for the whole of the E-Prix, but you want to be there when it matters, right at the end. We've seen so many times in motorsport. It doesn't matter which laps, how many laps you lead, as long as you lead the last one. Lap 4 of 40, about to start lap 5 of 40. Meanwhile, Sam Bird is getting stuck in on the back of Andre Lotterer, because Bird has activated an attack mode. No, he hasn't. Bird hasn't activated an attack mode, but he was ahead of Da Costa, Van Dorn and Lotterer, so I don't know what's happened to Sam Bird. There, meanwhile, goes Da Costa going past, or is that Verline going past? No, it's Verline still behind Sebastian Buemi, and then it's Jake Dennis in behind, so no changes of position there. Lap 5 of 40.
Yeah, 40 laps. It's all going to really come down, I'd have said, with a bit of toing and throwing into the last 5 laps. That's where we saw the real action coming yesterday. But now Vern goes into attack mode as well, trying to shuffle his way back into probably 3rd or 4th place, and he just sits in front of Buemi, so he's got track position. In comparison to Buemi, he's got up ahead of him Evans. That's really who he's contending this race with, not really in total terms Frins or Muller, because they're going to slowly, as the race go on, I would say, drop back into the field.
But
late dart out to the inside from Da Costa
nice
as he tries to force his way
move,
past
nice
Jake
move.
Dennis. Jake Dennis is still there on the inside in the Andretti.
Everyone is
They're
busy
still
right
side
now.
by side, Da Costa
Everyone just
and Dennis,
attacking.
and Da Costa gets the move made. We think it was an incident with Lotterer for Sam Bird, and here, meanwhile, is a move for 3rd place. Jean-Eric Verne in the black and gold DS Tagita going up into 3rd spot, past this man, Nico Muller, in the app. But Robin Freitz is still leading the way. It's also worth pointing out, Freitz and Muller are not in the championship fight in any way. Robin Freitz has 3 points, Nico Muller has 0 points. So Evans, Verne, Buemi, they're all trying to close in on Pascal Verline. The app drivers aren't involved in that fight.
We stay where we are, we keep doing what we're doing.
Well, Evans being told, stay where we are, do what we're doing, and then Robin Freitz says, well, no, I'm activating attack mode, son, so you're back in the lead of the race. See how you like that? Evans in the lead, Verne 2nd, Muller 3rd, Freitz in 4th.
So that's Robin Freitz taking his 2nd attack mode, so he's now got 3 minutes of 350 kilowatts. As you see Sebastian Buemi just sort of sneaking up the inside slowly. All concertinas at this hairpin, and it caused a lot of carnage yesterday. There was a few people just not really sure what someone else was doing. It was kind of after you, everybody waiting for the other one to make a move.
the line to start lap 7 of 40. Round 8 of the Formula E World Championship, and Mitch Evans, the race winner from yesterday, who started 5th on the grid, is now in the lead of the race, with Jean-Eric Verne behind him. Here's Robin Freitz.
Try to follow Buemi and not overconsume. Don't overconsume.
Do not overconsume.
Wickelberger on the radio saying try to follow Buemi and not overconsume. Don't use too much energy, but easier said than done when you're a racing driver trying to go as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, but he's got to try and stay with that front pack because they'll drag the rest along. And if he drops back too quickly now, as we see Evans taking his first attack, so he drops back too quickly now, then he will get caught in the other people that are
just 1 minute.
in around 8th, 10th.
Jean-Eric Verne leading, Nico Müller 2nd, Sebastian Buemi 3rd, Evans 4th, Freitz in 5th on lap 7 of 40 here in Berlin.
Bird attack at Dennis.
Bird getting aggressive into the hairpin at turn 9, and he's going ahead of Jake Dennis. So Bird
Nice.
is up in the 9th place. Dennis slipping back a little, not quite able to make his way up the order, and I think he's getting passed by his teammate Lotterer around the outside there. The two Avalanche Andretti's, the two red cars right together as they come out over the start-finish straight. Here, meanwhile, is the move for the lead. That is Nico Müller going to the lead ahead of Jean-Eric Verne. So the App Cupra driver hits the front of the field, and Jean-Eric Verne slots into 2nd place in the DS Penske. Sebastian Buemi is 3rd in the Envision. Robin Freitz is down in 5th position, lost 4 places up at the start. No real huge winners and losers so far. Evans was a big winner, but then he overtook it. Then he took his attack mode and he dropped back.
Well, Jake Dennis, I think, has been a bit of a loser now because he sort of got shuffled back into 10th place. He was someone that was fighting for the victory yesterday before he got sort of pushed around a little bit, and he seems to be in the same position again. And I would like to see if he can save the energy and move himself forward, but right now 10th is not where he would want to be. Interestingly,
Müller is now ahead of Freitz. Here comes Pascal Wehrlein in the Porsche to the inside of Robin Freitz into the hairpin, but through that attack mode sort of period, Müller has ended up ahead of his app teammate, who's now dropped behind Pascal Wehrlein, the championship leader, and Da Costa follows through as well. Those two, both teammates together at Andretti a few years ago. So Verne leading on lap 8 of 40. Here's Buemi's radio.
Oh.
Quite make out what he was saying there, Connor Somerville to Sebastian Buemi. I think he was saying, let's keep following Verne up at the front. Here's a look at Nico Müller taking the lead of the E-Prix, but in order to build a gap, to then do his attack mode a little bit later on and come out as far forward as possible. So Jean-Eric Verne leading, Müller in attack mode now in 4th spot.
Buemi,
Lap 9 of 40, Verne and Buemi, the top two, activate their attack modes, which means that Mitch Evans is back in the lead of the Berlin E-Prix, a race he won yesterday. Only twice in Formula E history has a driver won 3 races in a row. Sebastian Buemi, this man, was one of them in season 2, and the other was Antonio Felix da Costa in season 6. We're now in season 9, and Evans is trying to equal that record. He's out in the lead at the moment, Alan McNish.
He is, but I think the car on the move, and the car making very clear, decisive overtakes in the same way that Evans did yesterday, is Antonio Felix da Costa. He's been really clean and tidy. Here's Buemi's radio.
What's the strategy with Nick?
What's the strategy with Nick? So because his teammate
Nick
Nick Cassidy in the other green Envision has just overtaken Buemi and a car ahead. Oh, Bird, this is going to be a tight one. Bird nosing to the inside at turn 3. I think there's a little bit of a touch.
Yeah,
it looks as though they might have got away with it.
And now he has to defend as well behind Bird. You've got Dennis and Lotter, both of them very, very keen to stick their nose down the inside. So Bird actually lost out a little bit by that. He'll gain the time back up, but he lost out a little bit by trying to attack where probably he wasn't going to be able to get done.
Mitch Evans activates his
and is behind
Verne. He has activated both of them now, and he has emerged in 5th position behind Jean-Eric Verne. Nico Müller back in the lead of the race. It's the first time he's ever led a race, Nico Müller. Well, a Formula E race. He's led plenty in other Formula. And Evans is immediately under attack from Cassidy, and Cassidy forces his way through his compatriot. 2 men from Auckland going wheel to wheel, and it looks as though Buemi might be close enough to make the move as well. Coming to the inside into turn 10, and he does. Evans gets kind of shoveled out wide a little as they come down the start-finish straight in front of these huge grandstands at Tempelhof Airport.
Both Porsches have to do all attacks still.
Ooh, Dennis.
And that's Evans being told. That's Dennis forcing his way past Sam Bird. There's a bit of contact there as Evans slows up. Bird is still on the inside. he's still managing to hold the place. I thought he was squeezing
Nice.
Dennis a bit too much. Is Dennis still
Nice
there?
defense.
No. Bird holds on. So he's in 8th position. His teammate Evans is in 7th position. And what Evans was just told on the radio by Joseph Rocker is both Porsches, including Pascal Wehrlein, who's now taken the lead of the Berlin E-Prix, the championship leader, out in front, but he still has to take both of his attack modes. And the same is true of Antonio Felix da Costa, who's running in 3rd.
So now running through here, the one thing that Evans and Bird don't want to do is to get pushed too far back. They don't want to fall behind the Andretti's, because that's got the Porsche powertrain in there as well. And it is very efficient, and they've been quick and competitive all season. Not necessarily had the results due to crashes and incidents, but performance-wise, they are definitely capable of getting the job done.
Over the start-finish race again, 12 of 4th, just past quarter race distance in the 8th round of the championship. Pascal Wehrlein set the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, so is he trying to build a gap to take attack mode? Robin Freitz here is being overtaken. That is by Stoffel van Doorn, so Freitz now drops down into 13th spot. His teammate Nico Müller is still running in 2nd place. We'll see the energy levels soon, but strong race from Müller. This was how Pascal Wehrlein took the lead on the rundown into turn 9.
Yeah, nicely done, just down the inside, quite easy. I don't think Müller was going to fight him. Müller's, as the two Porsches take their first attack mode in tandem, first of all Wehrlein and then da Costa.
Here's Buemi's radio.
He needs to move. I don't want to stay there, so have a look with him.
So Buemi wanting Cassidy to move. Meanwhile, Cassidy is on the move, going past Jean-Eric Verne into the hairpin. So Cassidy in the other green Envision gets up into 3rd spot. This is the view back from Wehrlein in 2nd place. This is the view forward from Jean-Eric Verne in 4th position, who's just lost that 3rd spot to Cassidy. Freitz is now down to 14th position.
Yeah, it's a tale of, I would say, 2 different races for the App Cupras. One who was on pole positions, dropping back very quickly, and also as you see there with the energy, has got low energy, but everybody else is kind of similar. Buemi in 72% though, he's already saved a little bit more.
Oh, off is Lothra.
Nose damaged.
Down at the first corner, that is Andre Lothra, who was in a fight with sort of your Dennis and your Birds of this world, around about 8th, 9th, 10th.
Question is whether that nose comes off as he's starting to try and drive back to the pits. At the moment he's still stuck down there.
68 lagi, 69.
To attack mode for some extra power goes Nick Cassidy. He'll be in an extra power mode for the next minute, and he comes out behind his teammate Buemi. Now he goes to the inside, coming into 7th. brave from Cassidy. These two have fallen out a little over the course of the weekend, and he manages to hold the place at the moment. Buemi dart out from da Costa to the inside, trying to get Jean-Eric Verne, getting Jean-Eric Verne. Those two were teammates over the last few seasons.
Into that corner's definitely where you don't want your 2 team cars to be trying to overtake each other. Such a high risk there, and they were lucky to get away with it.
Evans is fighting Buemi. They're side by side coming down the start-finish straight. Evans in the Jaguar dropping behind as they come over the line and down towards turn 1. And meanwhile, Buemi then overtakes Jean-Eric Verne. So Buemi up into 4th spot, and they're up the nose. Nick Cassidy's going to get 2 spots there, isn't he? Well, he's going to get 1.
He's going to get both of them done, because he'll have the inside line up into the next corner, and he'll just follow Jean-Eric Verne.
Lovely stuff from Nick Cassidy. He finds himself up in 6th position now, lap 14 of 40. Nico Müller still leading the way, and Nico Müller's energy levels were absolutely fine.
Damage there.
There's a bit of damage, and Müller is being overtaken to the inside. Comes Buemi. Buemi gets ahead of Wehrlein, and Buemi is in the lead, but they all don't want really to lead coming into turn 7, because if you're up at front, you are punching the hole in the air for everybody else behind. But Buemi leads, Wehrlein is 2nd, Müller is in 3rd position, but not for much longer, because here comes Antonio Felix da Costa in the Porsche. It's 8 wide, further back, and Evans is in 7th place until Dennis goes around the outside of him. This is Verne going around the outside, Müller's on the left, and he holds the place for the time being.
As you go down the start-finish straight, that bodywork in the back straight could easily have been from Lotterer's front wing damage, as he's now trying to return back onto the, well, he's in the pits.
Yeah, Lotterer in the pits. He won't be scoring any points today, I wouldn't have thought, but he's just left the pits, actually. So he's got a chance, because who knows what's going to happen in the remaining 25 laps of this race.
If you need to push to stay out of trouble, you can get into your position.
Just be aware there's a piece of debris, turn 7, kind of in the middle of the racetrack. Not on the racing line, but in the middle of the racetrack, driver's left. Just please be aware. surface flags are out.
Scott Elkins, the race director, just letting them know there is a bit of debris on the exit of turn 7, but Sebastian Buemi is the man leading the race at the moment. There it is on the right-hand side as we look at it.
And it is Lottero's front wing.
Down into the hairpin. And the thing is here, everybody's trying to be in the perfect position. It's not a case of, because and there's a look from Vern. Vern to the inside, and the DS
But is no set.
Side by side with the Costa. And then it's side by side between Cassidy and Evans. Down towards turn 1. Verline back at the front, and Cassidy goes to the inside. Porsche,
but
there's a bit of
nice
contact
but
further back. But Porsche have managed to make it a 1-2. Verline in the lead, Da Costa in second. Here we go with Muller.
I've never seen such side-by-side racing. It's 3-4 corners where they're just following each other through. It's more like an oval than it is a street circuit.
Well, it's more like getting ready for a rolling start, isn't it? like we're on the outlap. So, third and fourth.
Ada smoke di belakang. Siapa tuh?
Da Costa activates his
Someone
second
good
attack
problem,
mode.
I think.
And there's damage here further back. It's a Maserati, of course.
Mortara.
And Mortara.
Mortara got damage.
Mortara's got damage, and he's going to be sliding back down the order. Some contact there for Mortara once again, and it could be another retirement for him this season. There's a look, Evans and Vern wheel to wheel. Vern gets ahead. Verline leading. Second is Cassidy. Third is Buemi.
They're all kind of similar on energy at the moment. The only outlier really is Gunther in 15th place, who's got a little bit more, but he's going to have to spend that extra energy to try and make his way not just into the top 10, but if he's going to even think about the top 6.
That's the order at the moment on lap 17 of 40. Pascal Verline, the championship leader. In fact, it's the first and second place men in the championship, running first and second at the moment. Buemi is third, fourth is Da Costa, and it's a front wing change for Edo Mortara after his contact out there. This is what happened to the Swiss, who was on pole position here. Well, the damage has already happened, but he went into the back of someone.
Broken front wing.
Mode for Verline, and Buemi is now in the lead of the race. Lap 17 of 40, almost half race distance. Plenty more still to unfold.
Check Dennis attack.
It was Jake Dennis that Edo Mortara went into the back of, and Dennis is now forcing his way past Nico Muller and getting up into 7th place. So Dennis starting to join the fight. When we did see the energy, Evans of this kind of group had the most. Bird's got a bit of front wing damage. Evans, who we're riding with here, had the most, but by like a percentage.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but we're also just under half race distance at this moment in time, and so there's still that can evolve as the next part of the race comes up, but it's so close. And at this stage, to be honest with you, I don't think you can call very much out. All you can say is that Nico Muller's still in this gaggle, and they're starting to pull away, so 8th, 9th, and then there's a gap back to Lucas de Grassi in 10th. So if Nico Muller can continue this for a few more laps, as someone else has got a little bit of rubbing as well with their nose against the left front tyre.
Could be Bird. I saw it dangling earlier on,
Bird.
coming down there. I think it is Bird.
Bird 11.
So Bird could be out of the running in this one after finishing second yesterday. Buemi activates his attack mode and drops back to 5th. Make that 6th because Dennis sent it. Coming into turn 7. Brilliant stuff from Jake Dennis. And he gets up into 5th position. And Bird, I'm pretty sure, will have to pit now.
No.
There's a look to the inside, and that's Vern going past Cassidy. And there's contact further back as Van Dorn hit the back of De Grassi, I think. De Grassi's got him in the 9th place in all of this, which is a pretty strong effort. And into the pits comes Bird. His race is run. They'll change the front wing. He'll go back out onto the circuit, but it won't be a 1-2 for Jaguar today. At the moment, up at the front, it's a Porsche 1-2.
It's a Porsche 1-2, but Evans, the sole surviving Jaguar, they were so dominant at the end of the race yesterday. He's down in 7th, and as you see the front wing there, quite a lot of damage, so he's hit something pretty hard to do that. Look at the tyre, how it's roughed up. This is what it is round here. It's such an abrasive circuit, long corners, and the tyre gets a really, really hard time.
Let's go, let's go.
Bird back out and on his way. Approaching half race distance in the Berlin E-Prix. Pascal Verline is leading it for Porsche. Da Costa is second, his teammate. Third is Jean-Eric Verne, fourth is Cassidy, and this is Dennis's radio.
So slow down the straight.
I presume he's talking about Cassidy ahead, so slow down the straight. Or we are so slow down the straight. which could be because Cassidy's in attack mode, and there comes Dennis. Cassidy goes in deep. Dennis in the red, Andretti can't quite make the move.
He's had a look round the outside very often into the final corner, and that's worked very, very well for Jake Dennis. The other person that's done a lot of overtaking there is the man in second, Antonio Felix da Costa, who I think now is just sitting behind his teammate. He's quite happy just sitting there in second place, maybe down in third, and da Costa, I think, is looking pretty strong.
That's Vern in the black and gold DS Penske, who we're with now, forcing his way past. So he's going to be on the outside here, so he'll have to slot him behind. Da Costa gives him room. And that means that to the outside goes Cassidy, side by side further back between Evans and Dennis, I think. But they aren't together on track. Well, they are now. So I think Evans got Buemi as Cassidy got Dennis, and here comes Dennis to the inside into turn 7. Let's go 3 wide, shall we see what happens? It's fine.
It's where Dennis went off yesterday, locked up the rears, trying to overtake Gunther for third place.
Vern now is up into second position. Cassidy drops back behind Evans and is down to 6th spot. Whoa, big snap as he hits the bump coming through turn 8.
Mitch was
Envisions
4th.
side by side. Cassidy still ahead of Buemi. Verline leading. Evans nosing to the inside of da Costa. Second place is the DS Penske of Jean-Eric Verne.
Mitch Evans got himself back up into 4th place.
It's sort of strangely, here comes Verne for the lead. Dennis is late on the brakes as well, but Jean-Eric Verne now takes the lead of the Berlin E-Prix. Second and third for the Porsches of Verline and da Costa. 4th is Evans, 5th is Dennis. It's weirdly hectic. Oh, and Buemi's got damage. Buemi's got damage. The second of the green Envision cars has picked up some damage somewhere in there. Here's Jean-Eric Verne. This is how he took the lead away from Pascal Wehrlein. René Rast is dropping down the order as well, but this is the move into turn 1. There is the DS Penske team.
Stoffel van Dorn, the other driver, up to 9th place now, just slowly, very slowly. But there is a bit of a gap. It's a little bit more stretched out there because you've got just around about Nico Muller. There's about a 1 second gap back to Van Dorn.
Yeah, okay. Try to reassure me because I'm very scared right now.
Try to reassure me, says Sebastian Buemi, because I'm scared right now. So I think he's worried. Oh, he's worried about that. He's worried about that. The front wing going underneath, and now that's going to be the end of his race. He can't get it stopped into turn 1. And Buemi goes skidding off the circuit at the first corner. And
Safety
that
car,
is
please.
his race run. And you can hear him now, well, he's trying to keep out there on the circuit, but he should just really pull off. He's holding everyone up at the moment, and he can't really get the car turned. He gets overtaken by Hughes, and unfortunately, kind of saw this coming. And into attack mode, no, wide goes Jean-Eric Verne. The Porsches go back through. Into attack mode goes Jake Dennis, but now it's a Porsche 1-2 again. Verline ahead of da Costa.
Yeah, that was basically Verne saying, I didn't want to be in that position. Let you guys go ahead, and I'll just sit behind you. But for Buemi, that's very disappointing for his championship because he had real momentum, I think, and he's had some good speed and performance.
There's a look to the inside from Evans as he tries to get ahead of Verne for 3rd position because he knows that his fight is with Verline and da Costa out front. Down they come in towards turn 1. Verne thinking about 2nd position. Dennis sends it to the outside at the first corner as he tries to get involved in the fight. Might go all the way around the outside here. Dennis, he does. Up into 4th place potentially as they come down towards turn 4. Still side by side. Still side by side through turn 4. Out through turn 5. Guess what? Side by side. Heading down towards turn 6. Verline in the lead. Verne in 2nd. Da Costa 3rd. Who's going to be in 2nd? Coming the end of this, to the inside goes Cassidy. Cassidy goes past them all and up into 3rd spot.
Well, Jack, I've got to be honest, I was holding my breath there because I could see that ending up in carnage, but Cassidy was able to get the car stopped. Shows how early everybody is lifting off as they're trying to sort of maneuver themselves into the right position or not being maneuvered into the wrong position, as happened with Jake Dennis yesterday.
That's the problem, isn't it? Everybody wants to sit, because, so it's not just a case of not wanting to lead the race. That is true, because then you're the one who's using the most energy, punching the hole in the air. But if you're second, you're using a bit less energy. If you're third, you're using a bit less energy. If you're fourth, it's exponential for the first 5 cars or so. So you want to be sitting in about 5th place for the whole race. So you want to get into 5th, then keep your elbows out, but the person in front wants you to overtake them. It's fascinating, because look at Max Günther. Max Günther's now 5th, and he started 21st on the grid in the blue Maserati. His teammates out of the race, and Günther is now going side by side with Mitch Evans. Remarkable.
Dennis going for it again down the inside.
Cassidy takes the lead, or holds on to the lead. I can't remember if he was in the lead 4 seconds ago.
He was in the lead.
Tigrasi 9, the Mahindra 9.
Down into the turn 6 to get into second, and then he's now taken it. But I'll tell you, Dennis is definitely learned from yesterday. He is now positioning himself aggressively going forward, not conservatively trying to hold his position.
It's still less than Mitch, but 0.09 only, so whatever you're doing is good.
Whatever you're doing is good, is the message to Cassidy. Dennis is there on the outside, gets on the power, and look at Günther going around the outside of Jean-Eric Verne. He's gained 16 positions in this race so far. Cassidy has gained 7. Dennis and Verline, the top 2 in the championship for so long this season. Oh, Evans is deep. Got it stopped. I thought he might be heading straight on down at the first corner, but Dennis is up into 2nd place. Verline is about to get shuffled down to 4th, because Jean-Eric Verne's on the inside. It's strangely frantic, yet also calm. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely kicking off, but everybody knows that they are playing the long game out here this afternoon. Cassidy leading. Attack mode-wise, no one has got one to use except Lucas de Grassi, who is in 10th position. Here we go with Max Günther. He's down in 7th place right now.
He was 3rd yesterday, had a very robust drive, you know, quite, I would say, elbows out, punchy drive yesterday to take the first podium for the team this year, and it looks like he's in the position to do it. I don't think he's necessarily got the speed and energy that he had yesterday to achieve it, but it's a blooming good result so far for him.
Through the left-hander they come, out over the start-finish straight, down towards turn 1. Here's Da Costa.
Hey guys, I need to go now because everyone's gonna go.
So Da Costa saying I need to go now because everyone's gonna go. He's running in 6th place because there comes a point where you've got all your energy and then you can start to spend it.
NATO, Fenestras paling banyak anjir. 3%.
Caught up, entangled in something like that, where you're squeezed into a wall or someone breaks early in front of you, and then you have to lift off.
So Da Costa has the most energy of the front runners. He and Evans, it seems, have slightly the most, but Cassidy's in a pretty strong position as well. 8th downwards are not in the fight. Verne in 3rd place is a little bit less than those around him.
14 laps to go. It's been well, it's not been a clean race, but it's been a clean race without a full course yellow or safety car. As now sticks it down the inside. Da Costa just nudges into Evans there. He'll have another look, I'm sure, into the last corner, and does. So Da Costa can't, he just get pinched at the apex, so he's not as early on the throttle, but I think he'll be able to overtake by the time they get to the first corner.
Da Costa side by side here with Evans, down towards turn 1. Makes it through. Lap 27 of 40 in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, round 8 of the season. It's halfway through the year after this, and at the moment the championship leader is there, Pascal Wehrlein, running in 4th position, just ahead of Antonio Felix da Costa, his Porsche teammate. They are the championship leaders. Cassidy, who's in the lead, is 2nd in the championship. Verne in 3rd.
Felix attacking
is 3rd in the
Wehrlein.
championship. Mitch Evans in 6th is the man who is 4th in the championship standings. Dennis is 5th in the standings, and he's 2nd in the race.
And Da Costa's just overtaken Wehrlein, so you heard the radio message just a little bit ago. I need to go now, and he's in that lap. He's overtaken Evans and Wehrlein.
Lap 27 and 40. Oh, it's tight there.
Evans trying to follow Da Costa now, and you've got Wehrlein trying to make sure he doesn't drop behind Evans. That wasn't necessarily an attack on his teammate, it was a defence on Evans.
Evans.
Here's Cassidy's radio.
2-1.
Going extreme close. I'm dying up here, I can't stay the leaf alone.
Cassidy saying, I'm dying out here. I can't stay in the
17
lead for long.
overtake anjir.
Well, you're going to have to do exactly what Jean-Eric Verne did then, Nick, and that was to just pull to the side and let someone else through. Very, very tight here with Evans and Verline. Evans, I think, will get this done because there's a wall up there, and I don't think that Verline's wanting to see that.
Cassidy's made 17 overtakes over the course of this race. Gunter's made 15. Verline is going a bit defensive from Gunter behind, as they start to spread out a little bit. Sylvain Filippi, the Envision boss.
Okay, we go with Cassidy, just manage the gap.
It's the message from Sean McGill, the Avalanche Andretti team. 13 laps to go, it'll be 12 at the end of this one. Cassidy leading into the hairpin. Final corner at turn 10. Dennis is right with him. Cassidy wants to be overtaken by Dennis, but Dennis doesn't want to overtake Cassidy.
It's all sort of concertina back up again, so
Yeah.
from first down to 18th, which is Oliver Rowland, who lost it all in the first line and went down to 21st. That's only 8.8 seconds.
That's 29 and 40. Cassidy leading. Top speed-wise, Jake Hughes has done the fastest top speed, 231. KPH, there's the move from Da Costa. Sorry, no, that's, yeah, that is Da Costa. Going
Costa
ahead of Jean-Eric Verne, up into third place then.
Meet.
And Evans is going
Follow.
past Verne as well.
Everything Da Costa does, Evans follows. So Evans is basically thinking, in my view, that his biggest challenge is coming from Da Costa at the moment.
Gunter.
Gunter down the inside as well of Verline. Up over the curve. That was a little bit late, a little bit tight, to be honest. He didn't quite get it done this time, but Gunter's definitely also wanting to be in this mix.
Through the final corner, out onto the start-finish straight we go. Cassidy leading. Dennis second, Da Costa third. 11 laps remaining. Oh, you can hear the tyres squealing for grip, and I think that was Verline making a bit of an error in the pack there. Further back, Robin Freitz is now 15th. Nico Muller has dropped out of the top 10. The two Coopers that started on the front row of the grid are now in 11th and 16th respectively. So Muller's still in with a shot of a point. They come down towards turn 6 now. Cassidy ahead of Dennis. There's the move from Verne. He gets back ahead of Evans. It's getting to that time where you need, before, if you were 8th, you were still in the lead pack. It's spreading out. And I know we said that 5 minutes ago and then it concertinaed up again. And we might still see that. But Cassidy, here's his energy. He's not too bad for those around him, honestly. Cassidy's doing a good job.
No, but Da Costa's in there is nearly 1%. It was nearly 1% up. And so now with 10 laps to go, 75% of the race is gone, 25% to go. And they've still got 30% energy. It's going to be a case of that someone will start to move now. I think in probably 3 or 4 laps, someone will actually start to extend, and that'll extend all of these gaps.
Aboard with Mitch Evans, the race winner yesterday in the black and white Jaguar. It was a 1-2 for Jaguar yesterday, but Sam Bird is down in 19th place after picking up damage and having to pit for a new front wing. When will Evans try and hit the front? And at the moment, they're all ahead of Pascal Verline, who's the championship leader. Verne going past Da Costa. Oh, and that's an aggressive one. Da Costa not necessarily wanting to give that up, so holds it around the outside, coming into turn 7. And that costs them all a little bit of time to the top 2 of Cassidy and Dennis.
And there's, Gunter. Defending there from Pascal Verline on the
defendnya oke juga itu.
Gunter in the blue Maserati. Up into the hairpin left-hander at turn 10. Out over the start-finish straight again. Evans is radio.
Out of the group ahead, Da Costa is the strongest on energy, 0.5% up on us. We're similar to Garcia.
So that's Mitch Evans, his race engineer Joseph Rocker on the radio. And they don't see as, that's a fairly late look from the McLaren. That is Rats trying to get past Sergio Sende Camera. But there is Da Costa. Those two are back markers. So this is the race leader, the Green Envision, the Kiwi, Nick Cassidy. Followed by Jake Dennis. Meanwhile, we're on board with the third place driver on the right-hand side, Jean-Eric Verne, who's defending. Oh, he's close to the back of Dennis. Dennis has to give him room.
That was actually very good driving there by Dennis. He was aware a car was close to him, and he's had a couple of incidents in previous races where someone stuck their nose down and they touched their rear tyre and gave him a puncture, so he's very aware of that spatial things around and about him as Wehrlein goes down the inside of Evans.
Right, wheel to wheel up towards turn 10. To the inside. It's Evans trying to get Da Costa, actually. It's Evans trying to pass Da Costa for 4th position, and the Jaguar has got to the inside now. Across the line to start lap 33 of 40.
Nice.
Gunther going for a look down
Nice
the
banget.
inside of Pascal Wehrlein, pulling back out of it in the end.
The Porsche's shuffling back a little. Wehrlein finding himself in 5th position right now. Lap 33 of 40. Cassidy still leading. Sorry, it's 6th position, isn't it, for Pascal Wehrlein. Cassidy still leading. And Wehrlein is asking the team whether they can swap positions. Oh, Evans thinking about it again. Once again, Verne defends. So tight. So tight. And it's so difficult for the drivers races like these in a different way to a lot of racing. Nick de Vries, the Formula E world champion a couple of years ago, now racing in Formula 1. Here's Wehrlein's radio.
Please don't push as hard as possible. Let out the race.
So Wehrlein on the radio, but just quickly to finish the De Vries point, he was asked, because he's raced in sports cars, Formula 1, Formula E, he was asked, you know, what are the differences between the series? He said, Formula E stands out because it is just so difficult mentally. You've got to manage so many things. You've got to change so many things in the car. It's the most challenging racing he's ever done, Nick de Vries.
You're driving, you're racing, and also you've got strategy all going on at exactly the same time while trying to optimize your driving and also the car's efficiency. But right now, we just heard there, it's basically a flat-out race for the last 6 laps. So they've done all the energy conservation that they needed to do, and now they're just getting on with it. So now we're going to see, I would say, not the sort of 2x2 overtaking, we're going to see quite late and aggressive overtakes.
Lap 34 of 40. Cassidy in the lead. He's just, well, Dennis has got more energy than Cassidy. That's the interesting part. Dennis, by sitting behind Cassidy, has now got plus 0.8%. Contact, Evans hit. Evans was hit by Da Costa. Coming down into turn 9. And now
Oke, masih aman, masih selamat.
spread them all out, and Wehrlein goes to the inside, and Gunther goes to the outside.
Oh, Gunther.
And gets ahead. So that was a crucial little bit of contact with Da Costa into the back of Evans. Wehrlein is now shuffled down to 7th position.
And Wehrlein's low on
Frine
energy
14%.
as well.
Nick Cassidy leading.
But 17, use 15, 2020, 14, 17, 18.
Gunther, Wehrlein, Van Dorn, Muller, and Tinctum the top 10. So Muller is up into the ninth place. The green Envision is the car leading the way, and that little nudge from Da Costa into the back of Evans has broken the top 3 free.
Yeah, but Evans has got the pace to come back at them, but he's going to have to really use some energy to do it. And so this is the question now, is can Evans get onto the back of Verne? We've only got 5 laps to go, and these top 3 are now starting to pick up the pace. They've gone about 1.5 seconds quicker now in the last couple of laps than they had at the mid-race point.
This is what happened with Antonio Felix Da Costa. Did he mean to make the move on Evans here, or was he just... Evans went deep to sort of avoid Verne, and then kind of came back, and Da Costa was sort of there. All a bit clunky, really.
I don't think it was intentional. I think it was a case of avoidance of both sides.
Dennis.
Let's go now if we can. Let's go now if we can.
It's high risk, man.
Right, interesting. High risk, says Jake Dennis. What does he mean by that?
Well, it's high risk with energy because he thinks that Verne's going to also come with him, and now Evans is right on the back of them again. I think 1 or 2 more laps because he's got the energy to be able to do it. He doesn't want to be compromised on the last lap. We saw that yesterday.
Renestas 15. Wow.
36 of 40.
Masih banyak ya yang di atas ini.
Intervention during this race. Bit loose from Dennis as he came through 7. Now down towards turn 9. Cassidy covering the inside just a little bit. And it's all closing back up again because Cassidy doesn't have the least of the front runners. To be fair, Cassidy's done a really good job to be in the lead for this long and keep that much energy compared to those around him is solid.
If it gets within 2 laps, then I think he's got a very good chance. However, it's going to take a very robust overtake from anyone behind now. Dennis is just sitting there waiting. The one thing that could come into play is the back markers. We've got them just up ahead. I don't think it will with 3 laps to go, but that's something that I think Cassidy will, hoping maybe he can use that to his advantage.
At 37 of 40, Cassidy leading. We're very much in the closing stages. There'll be 3 to go at the end of this one. And Nico Muller is still there in 9th place, looking to get a couple of points for the app team. They scored 3 points with Robin Freinz's pole position. They've slipped back, but a 9th would be a win, to be honest, for the app team. We're riding here with Jean-Eric Verne, though, who is in the fight for the win, in 3rd position. Nick Cassidy's looking for his 2nd win in the Formula E World Championship.
Yeah, I think it's still going to come down to the top 3 now. I think Evans is there or thereabouts, but he's going to have to be very, very robust to overtake the 3 cars off ahead of him. For me now, the Porsches, after that little tangle and tag, has kind of put them really in a compromised place.
No tag or added laps for this one.
Nggak ada safety car anjir.
Same stock as Evans. Actually, you need the hydro if you can on some big breakings.
This is going to be a fascinating final 2.5 laps now. Cassidy in the lead, and if he takes this win, he will get 25 points, and Pascal Wehrlein running in 7th will only be picking up 6, so he'll close 19 points to Pascal Wehrlein's lead. So considering it is it's 23 at the moment, this could be a huge, huge win for Nick Cassidy in the title fight. Could bring the gap down to 4 points, right? That's correct maths, I'm sure.
I'm just going to follow you with that one, Jack. There's just still 2 laps to go, and anything could happen in these 2 laps. As you see there, 6% and 8, so it's bubbling in between 1 to 2% extra energy that Dennis has got, and he's only 0.4 of a second behind.
Across the line, lap 39 of 40, penultimate lap of the E-Prix. Nick Cassidy in the lead. Jake Dennis chasing him. Cassidy looked like he was getting a little loose through turn 1. They kind of spread out down the start straight and then close in against each other in the middle. How high risk does Mitch Evans go to try and get ahead of Jean-Eric Verne for 3rd position? Wehrlein is about 6/10 back from Max Günther. Here we go down towards turn 7. Evans is close here to the back of Verne. Goes for it. Oh, no, he doesn't. He tricked me. He was trying to trick Verne, but all he did was trick me. Cassidy's gained 7 places in this. Wehrlein's gained 15 positions. Wehrlein's got to be, sorry, Günther has. Wehrlein's got to be disappointed with this race, ultimately, if he ends in 7th place, starting lower down than he began.
I think him and Da Costa will be ultimately a little bit disappointed because they had the performance for a little bit more as they come towards the final corner on the penultimate lap. 1 lap to go. Is Cassidy going to hold it, or is Dennis going to have a go? Where's Evans going to go with her?
Here we go, a little under 3 kilometers to go in a race that could see Nick Cassidy get right involved in the championship fight. Evans is trying to get ahead of Verne for 3rd place. Oh,
Nick
they're right on the edge of grip there.
Stay deh.
Fantastic to watch. Dennis has got more energy than Cassidy, but I don't think he's going to be able to use it. He's a bit too far back from the Kiwi.
If it is, it's got to be into this next corner, turn 6. However, this is one braking area offline that's very difficult, very, very bumpy. And he's too far back, so Cassidy's going to hold on here. And then last place, I would say, is into the hairpin, the final corner.
Final lap of the race. Cassidy leading. He's down to less than 1%, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Here they come towards the final corner.
Stay. Gak sampai kemarin anjir.
Won one race before. A very strange red flag race in Brooklyn a year ago. But now he's going to win on the road. Now he's going to win
Nick Cassidy wins.
Nick Cassidy takes victory in Berlin and fires himself into title contention with a brilliant drive.
Wah, 19.
Second. Jean-Eric Verne third. 4th for Evans. 5th for Da Costa. Wehrlein only 7th. Big day for Envision, and Nick Cassidy has taken the victory ahead of Jake Dennis. Remarkable performance
Lumayan
Very
lah.
entertaining race. Muller finishes
4 menit.
in 9th position, but it is Nick Cassidy who takes the win. Superb performance from him.
Simply amazing. Drive offline, simply amazing. Okay.
Let's see if we can have a word with Nick Cassidy ourselves. Nick, it's Jack, you're live on TV. What a drive. You said you didn't want to lead it, but you just won it. Well, great performance from Nick Cassidy. He is absolutely stoked. And a great win. And they gave me no choice, which was a very amusing message from Nick Cassidy. So he's now on 100 points. Sorry, Verline's now on 100 points at the top of the championship. 4 ahead of Cassidy. Then it's 19 to Vern.
So, thank you. Kok agak aneh ya. So thank you yang udah mampir. Semuanya agak mengecewakan race-nya. Tapi thank you. So yeah, see you next time guys. Bye bye.